Okay, so if you don't know, I own a lot of manga. It's not even all of it. It's just kind of the best angle that I could get to get most of it. And I'm going to be honest with you about two things just right off the bat of this video. One, my mic broke. So if the audio is bad, I apologize. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry. Just sorry. I'm just sorry. And the second thing, I haven't read all this. Listen, I just haven't. There's a lot of manga, less time than manga that I have. But I've read a good bit of it. I actually keep track of it on an app on my phone, and I've been doing really, really good. I haven't been buying as much, been reading more, and I've really been enjoying it. But the thing about it is, I want to go through my collection and see how much of it I have actually read. So that's what we're going to do. This might be a long one. So I guess there's three things to apologize for. 1, mic broke. 2, haven't read all the manga. 3, this might be a long video. Let's get to it. Okay, to start off, I figured we would do it in sections, right? And we're going to start with the section behind me that you see in pretty much all of my videos. The reason this is very easy is because usually, if it's behind me, it means it's probably one of my favorite series. So, starting off, One Piece. Listen, it's on YouTube. You can go check it out. I read through all of One Piece. Well, actually, I read all of One Piece up until kind of the end of Wano. But I've been keeping current with it. There is not a single chapter that has been released on the Shonen Jump app that I haven't read. One Piece, it's one of my favorites. I know that's shocking, right? I mean, literally, look at all that. Yeah, it's One Piece. And another one that I know you've heard me talk about, Silver Spoon. Silver Spoon, again, one of my favorites. It's like a slice of life. This city kid gets put into a country school and kind of learns about farming, but he doesn't just learn about farming, learns about friendship, life in general. It's great. I love Silver Spoon. You've heard me talk about this. Oh, don't fall. We have Shaman King, and then the sequel series, Shaman King Flowers. I still actually have not checked this out, but Shaman King, I know Shaman King. Listen, Shaman King, man, gets bad rap. It came out in where it was, the big three shonen. It came out at the pinnacle of, at least here in North America, where shonen just kind of blew up everywhere. And while they did remake the anime for Netflix, and I've heard good things about it, but Shaman King is like, I love Shaman King, and I think it's like that underdog story, right? Listen, there's some other big threes, obviously, that have had the longevity and kind of changed manga as a whole, but it placed my heart for Shaman King, and I absolutely enjoy it and love it. Then I finally read this one, Monster. Urasawa is kind of like a genius. I've talked about him as an author before because we're about to get to a very important manga in my collecting manga and journey into this hobby as a whole. But I finally read Monster. It was okay. It was fine. Like, Monster was fine. I know. Listen. Yeah, I know. Listen. Monster was good. Like, it was fine. It's not this other one, though. It's not 20th Century Boys. 20th Century Boys, man. Okay, while it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and I definitely have rose-colored glasses, and I can admit that for this series, but it is one of those that when I got into manga, I'll tell you a little story. This video is already going to be long enough. You probably don't need me to ramble on, but when I started collecting manga, I had purchased the Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z box set because I grew up with those series. And when I really started kind of finding manga content on YouTube and wanting to collect manga and really explore this side of my childhood that I kind of left behind, I started with Bleach right after that. This was the first manga where I didn't even know anything about it. I saw it at a Barnes & Noble or Books A Million on the shelf. I picked it up and I was like, oh, it's not just about fighty, It's not about that guy's gonna hit that guy. It's something different, and it can really take you to this really incredible place with these characters and this depth of story. And so yes, I have rose-colored glasses with 20th Century Boys, but it means so much to me. And keeping with the Urasawa train, the Pluto manga. I have a confession to make. And this is going to be the first dock to point on the top side of the screen. I haven't finished this. I am on volume 6. Here's the thing. It's not a long series. I should really finish this. It's just one of those things that I put down one day and haven't picked up again. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's Urasawa. He's one of my favorite manga authors that there is. But yeah, I need to finish Pluto. I get it. I also hear the anime is really good. And then the final thing on the shelf that you always see behind me, Asadora. It's the newer Urasawa work. And while it hasn't latched to me like 20th Century Boys has, I kind of really like it. I don't want to give too much away. In Urasawa's work, and I have this theory, that he is one of those authors that you enjoy the journey along the way, but he can connect dots throughout this story that he has woven. And by that final volume, it makes you rethink stuff you see in the first volume. And I think that is such a talent, and he is one of the best manga authors that does that. So really, I'm going to reserve judgment for Asadora until the final volume. All right, let's move on to box sets. Box sets? Obviously, you know, we've already went over this one. All of it. Nothing gets docked. And then we have Naruto. Naruto's an interesting one, right? I've said this before. For some reason, and I still really don't know why, I stopped at the pain arc. It was just one of those things that I was really enjoying it, and then I just put it down one day and never picked it back up. But I really want to read through Naruto, especially doing my revisit of Naruto that I did recently on the channel. That beginning of Naruto is really good. And then we have Claymore. I actually got this for an incredible deal on Amazon. I think it was like less than $100 for this box set. And I only read 4 volumes. Again, it was in that time that I was reading through Berserk, which we can go ahead and mark that off. I have read everything physically in these deluxe hardcover editions. I started reading Claymore before I had started reading Berserk, and then I picked up that first volume of Berserk, and while they are different, there is the similarities, and I just got lost in that Berserk world, as you do, and I just haven't gone back yet to Claymore. But I really want to, because I definitely enjoyed what I read of it. Then we have Bleach. Bleach, like I just said, this was the first series that I basically consider like starting my manga collection, because the Dragon Ball box sets, which we'll get to in a second, this was the first series that I actively was like, I want to read all of this, because I never checked out the anime when I was growing up, anything like that. I knew nothing about Bleach, and I ended up devouring all of these volumes. While it might not be my favorite of the big 3, it holds a really, really special place for me, especially in this whole thing of like collecting manga. Assassination Classroom. I have not read all of Assassination Classroom. I think please, thank you. I think I got to volume 10, and I just, I have a lot of manga. You're going to hear this a lot in this video. I got to like volume 10, and there's not really a reason. Maybe there is like subconsciously, like maybe it slowed down a little bit or something of that nature. But for some reason, I just never completed Assassination Classroom all the way to the end. But I do plan to. So yeah, we can go ahead and dock that. Yep, thank you. And then we have Orange. I've actually done a review of this on the channel. I absolutely, really, really love this series. Did not know going in what to expect, but the time travel and just kind of the depth that this story kind of had that I was not expecting really, really impressed me. Bakuman. I've talked about this series. many times. It is that series that takes you into Shonen Jump, and it is just one of the best slice of life series that those characters and the story really connect with me. I love Bakuman. I highly recommend. It doesn't need to be your first manga, but once you start reading, especially Shonen Jump manga, if you dove into this series, I think you get a lot out of it. Then there's the Demon Slayer box set. I haven't touched it. At all. I have not touched it. I watched the 2 seasons of the anime and the movie, and that's kind of how I've been experiencing Demon Slayer. I've actually heard that this might not be the best manga, so I don't know. I maybe one day I'll read through this series. I do plan to. And then we have the Tokyo Ghoul box sets. I have read up to volume 4 of the original Tokyo Ghoul series. It is a series that, again, I want to read. There's just something I've heard. This series has a ton of fans that really enjoy it, and the way they talk about it, I think that I'll enjoy it. But it's just one of those, because this was definitely in the throes of like when you first discovered manga collecting, and you're like, I want to buy all of this. I need this all like yesterday. And it was just one of those box sets that I caught a deal on, probably during Right Stuff Anime's like winter sale or summer sale or something of that nature. It's just set on the shelf. I know. That's what you're gonna write in the comment. You're like, listen, man, you need to read the series that you read this series, please. You need to read it. All right, listen. You need to read it. I know. Trust me. I know. Then we have the Promised Neverland box set. I have read this. I really enjoy this series. It's so funny, right? Like, because I watched the first season of the anime, and then I didn't even watch the second season because by the time I got around to watching it, the internet had exploded with like, please, whatever you do not watch Promised Neverland season 2. They have absolutely destroyed it. So I don't know how different the anime was, but honestly, while it's not maybe in my top 10 series of all time, I do think it is an enjoyable read with like an interesting premise and an interesting story that it's telling. Oh, and then we got this guy. Okay, this is by far one of the best box sets in manga. I mean, here, I'll insert some B-roll. Look at that. It opens. It is just so nice. I checked out Akira, the anime movie, a long time ago, and it wasn't one of my favorites. So I have been slow to read this series. I have read 2 volumes of the Akira manga and enjoyed it more than the movies. So I do believe that I will find something to enjoy that I think when I watch the anime film, and especially when you hear about Akira and people hold it to such a high regard, it's one of those series that I really want to find and understand, like, what made this so popular for its time and what made it honestly kind of legendary. And I think by reading the manga, it will help me understand, because I will get the full story, how the author intended it. And then, I love when box sets make a photo. More box sets need to do this. Quintessential quintuplets. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Okay. I get it. Sometimes, you need a lighthearted, kind of trashy series to enjoy and turn your brain off. The comedy works for quintessential quintuplets for me. I really like some of the characters, and some of it is so exaggerated that I just enjoyed it. It's wild. Again, I don't put it in a top 10, but I definitely found something to enjoy it. And it makes the picture with the spine. So that's a cheat code for me to like you. Like, if you make a picture on the spine, that is a cheat code. The last 2 were actually the first 2 box sets that I ever owned. The Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball box set. I've read all of it, all of Super, and I don't even mean physically. I mean, I am completely current. This series means a ton to me. It's the series that got me into this thing. I mean, look at this. Look at that kid. Look at him. He's so happy with his off-brand plastic Dragon Ball figures that I'm sure I got at a flea market. But he is stoked to have them. So this is the shelf that you also see behind me in most videos. It's usually got a purple, hold on, wait, you'll recognize it here in a second. Hold on. Ah, much better. But yeah, so this is the shelf that I have in my background. Honestly, I do a lot of this because I kind of think aesthetically this looks really good, right? Starting with the Mobile Suit Gundam. Listen, let me scooch over here. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. When I started collecting a lot of the manga tubers, this was one of the series that they had in their collection, right? It was, and it looks super nice. Really, really nice. I feel like most of the collections that I have seen on YouTube has that series. And I am one of those that I've read 2 volumes out of 12. So, yep, go ahead. And also, I bought The Men Who Created Gundam. Yep, go ahead. I will read that series. I will get to that series. Hellsing, the deluxe editions. If you can't tell, I've read 2 of the volumes. I know there's 3 volumes. I've read 2 of them. And the reason for that, I'll be honest with you, the reason for that is I really enjoyed Alucard. And if you don't know about Hellsing, he kind of takes a back seat in the story for a while. And they do the accent with like the V's or W's. It's a little hard to read, to be honest with you. And I know that's an aesthetic choice and this choice for the story. I get that, but that just kind of slowed me down. And then Alucard kind of took a back seat in the story, and that is why Volume 3, if I can get it out, still wrapped. JoJo's Bizarre Hold on, it'll keep going. I'm just gonna lay down. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I am completely caught up with the anime of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The anime for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is probably one of the most unique animes that I have ever watched and that has ever been created. Like, it has its own style. Whether you like that style or don't like that style is a whole other thing. But it is so unique and such its own thing that you can't help but, I don't know, be intrigued by it. And I have stopped at the Golden Wind. I do plan on collecting the rest. I just haven't picked up Stone Ocean yet. They're probably almost done releasing Stone Ocean at this point. And then Lone Wolf and Cub. This is a series that I have not read any of it. Yep, go ahead and take it away. I didn't even really mean to collect it. It was one of those series that I had heard about when you get into collecting manga, and they were not printing these Dark Horse omnibuses like they kind of reprinted somewhat recently. And I was at a Barnes & Noble and I saw the first one. And my collector brain said, well, this is the first one. What am I not going to get it? And so then I was like, well, if I got one, I might as well have 12. And then they started reprinting them, and it just became easy to order them online, and that is why I have the Lone Wolf Cub omnibuses. So maybe one day I'll read that. I have read Tokyo These Days, Volume 1. Really interesting series, to be honest with you. And then his other work that also got released in this deluxe edition, Tekkanon, it's on the screen right now. There you go. I have not checked this out yet. Silent Voice Deluxe Editions, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Talked about this series. Of course, I've read this series. I really enjoy the deluxe editions. That art and those big pages. Man, amazing. I've also talked about this series. Blade of the Immortal. Yep, that's right. I have all of them. And to be honest with you, I read that first omnibus, and it's not my favorite. But I do plan on getting back to this series because it's, again, a legendary series that if so many people hold it in such high regard, there has to be something in there that connects with me. And nothing really connected with me with that first volume. So yeah, go ahead and take it away. Breaking news. I don't know how I forgot this, but also there's Vagabond on that shelf. I did a video on the channel about the first volume of Vagabond. Really, really enjoyed it, and I do plan on reading through that entire series, but I've only read the first volume, and plus those definitive editions are coming out, so, you know, do I wait? Probably not, though. But yeah, it's Vagabond. That first volume was really, really good. So, also, I have it organized alphabetically, but it's a little weird, and you'll notice it. This is the A's, this is the F's, and this is the P's. I know you're wondering to yourself, that doesn't make sense. It goes alphabetical that way, around, and then it loops back around. So, all right. A Girl on the Shore. No, I haven't read it. 5 centimeters per second. I have not read it. It came in a bundle from RightStuffAnime.com. Moment of silence. All right. A Conditioned Called Love. I have actually read both of these. I only own 2 volumes, and I've read 2 volumes. You know what, though? Not bad, to be honest with you. You know, it's a shoujo series, but it's pretty good. And the anime, I think, just came out. And I've heard that anime is all right, too, so. A School Frozen Time. It's a 4-volume series. I've read all 4 volumes. I've talked about it in multiple videos before. It's not like the best series in the world, but it's a good time, and it's a short series. I really enjoyed it. All You Need Is Kill, which is, the art is done by the same person that does Death Note. And I also think the Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat, I think, is based on. It's all right. It's fine. Apothecary Diaries. I have volumes 1 through 8. I believe I've read volumes like 1 through 5. I'm not completely current. It's a really good. I really enjoyed the first couple volumes. I am going to read it and kind of continue to read it, but it's not on my top priority list. Astra Lost in Space. 5-volume series. It's like Among Us. I've read it. It's good. It's really good. I don't hear enough people talk about it. Attack on Titan omnibuses. I own all the omnibuses. I have not read all of the omnibuses. Yes, you're interrupting this video there. It's already long enough. They don't need an interruption by, you know, a cat. You know what I mean? I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, all right. Well, I got to get back to him, though. I got to get back to him there. I'm talking about Attack on Titan. People really like Attack on Titan. I know. I haven't read all the omnibuses. I'm about halfway through, so that'll dock me right there. But it'll be all right. Well, I'm gonna finish it. I'll finish Eren Yeager's story. All right, it's pretty good. Banana Fish. I have heard really good things about this series. Also, the anime was done by MAPPA, like before they were MAPPA, like Attack on Titan MAPPA and things of that nature. One Punch Man, MAPPA now. God of High School, MAPPA. MAPPA. I've read like about 3 volumes of this. I do plan on finishing it, but I just haven't. So yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Furion Beyond Journey's End. I have volumes 1 through 9. I've read, I believe, volumes 1 through 7, so I'm not completely caught up and current, but I'm pretty close. Fruit Baskets. I've read volume 1. I want to read this series. Not only do these spines look incredible on the shelf. This is like the shoujo series that people are like, if you want to read really good old school shoujo, this is the series that you read. So yeah, I definitely, it is high on my priority list to read. Full Metal Alchemist Full Metal Edition. I've done a video reading the first volume of Full Metal Edition, and well, I know. Yeah, I know. I'll get to it eventually. The Garden of Words, I got it in a bundle deal. Right Stuff Anime. I have not read it. Ghost in the Shell, the compiled edition, the fully compiled edition. I have not read it, but it looks super nice though, doesn't it? Go Go Lose Your Ranger. I have volumes 1 through 5. I've read volumes 1 through 5. I know there are more volumes out now. I just have not picked them up. I've heard mixed things about the anime. I really enjoyed the volumes that I read of Go Go Lose Your Ranger, but I'm also a huge Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan. Might have something to do with it. The God's Lie. I've talked about this series before. It's a really interesting twist on like coming of age and kind of the Stand By Me, the summer as a young kid going into young adulthood. It's got a great twist on it. Highly recommend. Go With the Clouds, volumes 1 through 6. I've read Go With the Clouds, volumes 1 through 6. This guy puts out a manga series once a year, and it's a treat every year. Happiness, volumes 1 through 10. I've read all of Happiness, volumes 1 through 10. Spoilers, it's not happy. It's not happy. Hirayasumi? This is a relatively new series. I've read this volume 1 and really, really, really enjoyed it. The story of this 29-year-old that inherits this house from this older lady, and his cousin moves in. It's a slice of life and super dramatic, and this story really connected with me. I really like this first volume. Hinamatsuri, volumes 1 through 18. I've technically not read all of the volumes that I own. I love this series, but I am about 3 volumes behind, so you go ahead. Thank you. It's a comedy, slice of life, but it does what I think comedies can do really, really excellently if they try, which is to have these character drama moments, but kind of wrap it in this comedy shell, but actually say something of depth. Super enjoy this series. This series is so good. So good. Pokemon Adventures, volumes 1 through 10. I've not read all of this, so go ahead and do that. I've read about the 4 volumes, but it goes through the different gens, and to be honest with you, I have nostalgia for like Gen 1, 2, and a little bit of 3. That's kind of where I stopped reading. It's a great, if you're a Pokemon fan, I highly recommend the manga. It's super well done. And then to 2 mangas that I don't really like. PTSD Radio volumes 1 through 3. I own them. I've read them. That's it. Yep. Real Account, volumes 1 through 14. I own them. I've read them. The most disappointing manga series in my collection. Turned on me so badly. River's Edge, I've read it. It's all right. Saint Youngmin, volumes 1 through 5. Jesus and Buddha are roommates, slice of life kind of comedy thing. I actually really love this binding, but to be honest with you, I read 2 volumes, so I haven't read 3 of those volumes. Sakamoto Days, volumes 1 through 11. Listen, look at me. You know I've read that. Listen, do we have to talk about this? You know I've read it. Sakura Saku, volumes 1 and 2. I've read both of them and super enjoyed both of them. She and Her Cat also got this in a bundle deal, but surprisingly read this. It's fine. It's okay. It's, it is what it is. Skip and Loafer, volumes 1 through 4. I've read volumes 1 through 4. It's actually, I really enjoyed volumes 1 and 2. While I still want to collect it and still want to read it, it has dropped on my priority list of like, new volume came out, gotta go purchase it. But yeah, it's still an all right shoujo-y comedy series. Smoking Behind the Supermarket, volumes 1 and 2. I haven't read volume 2 yet, but I did read volume 1. Heck of a manga, this Smoking Behind the Supermarket. It's kind of done in vignettes of them legitimately smoking behind the supermarket. And I don't know, there's nothing crazy happens, like nothing even incredibly dramatic, or it's just, it is the truest sense of slice of life, and you learn about these characters and you kind of learn about this relationship that you definitely want to see happen throughout this series through these small little vignettes. And you're introduced to different characters because, they're behind the supermarket instead of this other character. It is incredibly simple, but incredibly effective in how it tells its story. I really enjoyed it. Snow White with the Red Hair, Volume 1. I only own Volume 1, and I've read Volume 1 and enjoyed Volume 1 and want to read more, but as you can see in this video, I have a lot. So it's not a priority right this very moment. And the final one of this shelf, Solanin. It's not one of my favorite of that author's work, but it's okay. Boy, are you still with me? Cause man, this is an undertaking. I think I'm doing okay though. I think we're doing all right. I in my mind, I would like to end this video at like 60%. I'd be happy with 60. I'm almost at 1,500 volumes. So having it at 60%, I would feel okay. I wish it was like 75, but 60% I would be fine. All right, let's keep going. Beastars, volumes 1 through 3, I haven't read them. Okay, let's go ahead and take that off. Blood on the Tracks, volumes 1 through 15, of course. I really enjoy the series, so obviously. I think volume 16 is out now. I need to check that out. Is that the last volume? Let me know in the comments. Is Blood on the Tracks volume 16 the last volume? I know it's relatively close to being done. But it's already done in Japan, but like physically released here in America. I think. Blade of the Moon Princess, volume 1. I only own volume 1, and I will only ever own volume 1 until I sell it. Until I don't own it. I have read it. No. Matter of fact, no. Blue Flag, volumes 1 through 8. I have read volumes 1 through 6, and for some reason, I enjoyed this series okay, but just something happened. And like I said, and you will have noticed this through this video, for some reason, I'm just like, I just can't read the ending. So yeah, one day, I do plan on finishing it. Just haven't, you know? Listen, I have a lot, okay? Listen, I have a lot of manga, all right? I'll finish it one day. Also, I've heard the Blue Flag ending, like, maybe doesn't nail it. So, maybe it's okay that I only read to volume 6. Burn the Witch, same writer as Bleach. As you can see, still shrink wrapped. So, I have not read it. Blue Lock, volumes 1 through 7. I've read volumes 1 through 5, okay? I know. Bamba from Tezuka. I got this used at a used bookstore for about $2. So, I have not read it. But it's also not a big commit. It's $2. Boys Abyss, volumes 1 through 5. Yeah, I pick up this volume. I read this. I pick it up and I read it immediately that night. It has happened for all 5 volumes. I've also read somewhere that series is ending. So I hope he nails that ending. He's really set up a lot of good characters and a very interesting story. Call of the Night, volumes 1 through 16. Listen. If you've been around this channel at all, you know. Call of the Night, surprisingly, pretty good. Hey, I started off, but surprisingly. Call of the Night. Candy and Cigarettes, volumes 1 through 5. I've read volumes 1 through 3, okay? Can't Stop Cursing You, volumes 1 through 4. It's only 4-volume series, I've read it all. It's like Death Note light, you know what I mean? It's a very similar vibe to Death Note. How do I do this? Do I keep going down this way? Yeah, let's do it. Cat Gamer. Of course I've read Cat Gamer. Case Study of Vanitas, volumes 1 and 2. I have not read it. I don't even know, I can't remember why I picked this up. I know it's in a manga shopping video probably, or a MangaHaul video, the explanation. I don't know why I picked that up. Chainsaw Man, volume 1 through 15. I've read every single volume of Chainsaw Man. It's funny, dude. Really dug the first arc, as a lot of people did, you know, and then kind of fell off keeping current with it when the new arc began. But now, as I've read physically all the way to volume 15, Chainsaw Man has come back around in that second arc. For me, it's come back around. Trojan X, volumes 1 and 2. I've read volumes 1 and 2. It's all right. You know, I dig the covers, but it's all right. Coffee Moon, volumes 1 through 4. I did Coffee Moon. I've talked about Coffee Moon multiple times on this channel. Yeah, Coffee Moon's interesting. Crazy Food Truck. It's only a 3-volume series. Okay, come in closer. Listen, okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's not worth your time. Crazy Food Truck is not worth your time. To me. Super interesting premise, kind of cool artwork, kind of cool setting, but by the end of that volume 3, it was all right. Dan to Dan, wow, what a pose. Dan to Dan, volumes 1 through 4. I think I might drop this series. It just really hasn't super connected with me. But it is a very popular series, so you know about it. And I know the anime is coming out pretty soon, so I don't know, I might check out the anime. Maybe it works a little bit better in animation form. Homunculus, I only owned this first one. Interesting stuff, interesting premise. Not on a top priority list to like continuously pick up this series. I'm not dropping it, but it's not on my priority list of like series that I want to pick up the second they release something. Inside Mari, volumes 1 through 9. I've read it all. Not for children, but pretty good. Like overall, all right. I'll give it my all tomorrow. Volumes 1 through 5. I read all of volumes 1 through 5. I love this series. It's an older protagonist, which I always really like, and it's just this really down-to-earth story about this older guy that wants to follow his dreams. And I don't know, it really, really connected with me. Initial D Omnibus of Volume 1, I've read it. People talk up Initial D a lot, even Rex.
I like Initial D.
Boy, slow start, but by the end of it, I do want to check out the other omnibuses and see where this story goes. Innocence, I know the second omnibus has come out. I still need to pick it up. The art is absolutely gorgeous. The subject matter, not for children. It's not for children, but pretty good. Insomniacs After School. I only own the first volume. Still have not read the first volume. I got it buy 2 get 1 free sale. Island in a Puddle, volumes 1 through 5. Same writer as Erased. Pretty good. Like, okay. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. One of the first review things that I did on this channel. If you want to see, I feel like I've gotten better at talking with you guys. Boy, I bet this video is not great. But this manga is. I really, really liked it. But I bet that video is not good. I Want to End This Love Game, Volume 1. I've read it. It's pretty good. I'm trying to go through it fast, so it's hard. Like I said, when I do a Manga Collection video and really focus on this collection, I'll do it where I go in depth in the series. But this is just kind of like looking through my series and seeing how much I've read. So I apologize if you're like, this dude ain't saying nothing about these series. If you want to know more about these series, just let's talk in the comments. It'll be a little easier for me, because we don't want this video to be 3 hours long. Plus, it's summer, and I wore long sleeves. I got these light. It's hot, if you don't know. Whew. Jujutsu Kaisen, 0 through volume 22. Read them all. It's Jujutsu Kaisen. It has its ups and downs. There are peaks and valleys in Jujutsu Kaisen. Somebody says it's nothing but great in peaks and valleys. Kaiji the Gambler, volumes 1 through 4. I've not read volume 4. Kaiju number 8, volumes 1 through 7. And that anime is doing really well right now. I have a lot of friends that love that anime. Probably their favorite anime of the year. I've read like 4 volumes. Killing Stalking, volume 1. I have volumes 1 and 2. Volume 1 I've read and did a review on it on this channel. Volume 2 still in shrink wrap. Surprisingly, I think there's something to like about that series, and that's really weird for me to say. We're moving on. We're just gonna blow past it. I think that series is interesting. Kino's Journeys, volumes 1 through 8. I've talked about this series at length. It is a slice of life where they travel through this world, and there's vignettes of stories and characters they meet along their journey. Really, really well done. The Target Komi Can't Communicate box set. Still haven't checked it out. I need to. Look Back, a one-shot from the Chainsaw Man creator. I read it. They're coming out with an anime movie, I believe, of it. It is a really interesting work that I cannot wait to watch that anime movie of. Love and Focus, I haven't read it. Lupin the Third, Grace Heights, have not read it. March Comes In Like a Lion, Volume 1, have read it. And I want to know, and you really need to help me in the comments, is there a Volume 2? Because I feel like I've owned this Volume 1 for like a year and a half. And I want to read the next volume. Is that out? Have I missed the boat? Is it probably out of stock now? Is there a third volume? How many volumes are there? How many volumes are there? There's this many. This is where you come in. There's this many volumes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Mermaid Scales and Town Sand, have read it. No. From Osamu Tezuka, Message to Adolf, Part 1 and Part 2. I have not checked it out yet, but boy, they look great on the shelf. Solo Leveling, Volumes 1 through 5. I have read them, and I know that there's more volumes. I need to get current with it. Spy Family, Volume 1 through 10. It's Spy Family, you know about it, and yes, I have read it. Steel of the Celestial Dragons, I need to pick up the second volume, and I have read that one. Steins Gate, the Barnes & Noble hardcover edition, I have read it. It's pretty good. The Summer Hikaru Died, Volumes 1 and 2, I have read it. I think the third volume is out. Summer Ghosts, I have read it, and it is an absolutely incredible manga. I love it. Summertime Rendering, the hardcover editions, Volumes 1 through 6, and I have read it. Oh, it's so hot. It's so summer right now. It's so summer. Here we go. Here we go. Summon of the Gods, Volumes 1 through 5. I read the first volume. Have not read the rest. Sword of the Demon Hunter. I did a review on this volume. I picked up Volumes 1 and 2. I'm sure there are more, and really enjoyed this series. I need to pick up more. Togepi's Original Sin. I've talked about this manga at length, so yes, I've read it. Not for children. It's not for children. It's about children, but it's not for children. But it's okay. It's pretty good. Tomahawk Angel, the second volume. I need to pick up the second volume. Really enjoyed this first volume though. Tista, Volumes 1 and 2, and that's all that there is. This is the Spy Family creator's manga before he made Spy Family. So I need to read this just for like kind of like the history lesson because Spy Family is so huge, but I just haven't yet. Tokyo Babylon, Volumes 1 and 2. I have read them and super enjoyable by Clamp. Tokyo Aliens, Volumes 1 through 3. I think Volumes 4, probably Volumes 5 at this point is out. Really interesting manga, but not top of my priority list. Tropic of the Sea, got it in a bundle. Tsubasa's, I was gonna say Volumes 1 through 6. Rex gave me these. They're the singles. It's Volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Have not read them. Under Ninja, Volumes 1 and 2. I've read Volume 1. I've not read Volume 2. Uzumaki, Junji Ito. Yeah, I've read it. I'm not the biggest Junji Ito guy. Voice of a Distant Star, bundle deal. When I say bundle deal, it means I have not read it. The Way of the House Husband. Everyone used to talk about this series and they stopped talking about it. I'm still here. Volumes 1 through 9. I'm still here. I think there's like 11 volumes out now. So again, not as high as it used to be on my priority list, but it's still such a good time. Weathering with You, Volumes 1 through 3. I have read Volumes 1 and 2. Welcome to the NHK. If you've been around this channel, you understand. No, I have Volumes 1 and 2. No, I have not read them because they were all on Right Stuff at one time. And it was late at night, and I was like, oh, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying not to save money. I go on there, and I'm like, no, welcome to the NHK. I've heard of this series. I really want to read it. Sounds interesting. You know, it's on sale. It's kind of bundled up. They were disappeared from the website. I'll never own you physically. And that's okay. You know, we'll move past it. It was legitimately like a collector's worst fear of like, I'm trying to do better. I'm trying not to spend money. All right, fine, I'll do it. You log on to the website, gone. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Volume 1. I really enjoyed this volume. I need to buy more. Windbreaker, Volumes 1 through 6. This is the shonen series that is kind of like Boys Abyss for me. I pick up the volume physically. I read that volume that night. It is so incredibly good. So incredibly good. Witch Hat Atelier, Volumes 1 through 11. Listen, yeah, go ahead. Crank it down. I need to get back caught up with this series. The World After the Fall, Volume 1. I have not read it. I don't even know how I can't remember picking this up. It is a manhwa because it's colored, but Yeah, don't even remember picking this up. Watakoi, Love is Hard for an Otaku, volumes 1 through 6. I have talked about it at length, you know. You know I've read this. You know. Days on Fez, volumes 1 through 5. It's about a music festival, and it's all right. Death Notes, the Black Editions, volumes 1 through 6. Of course, I've read Death Note. Dead Dead Demons, Dead, volumes 1 through 12. I need to read this series, and I think the anime is coming out, or is out. But yeah, I need to read this series. Another series that I absolutely need to read, and I love the way these spines are with the black and white alternating. Dead Man Wonderlands, volumes 1 through 13. Deer King, I've not read it. I actually don't even know why I picked this up, but I did. Don't Call It a Mystery, Omnibuses 1 and 2, which is volumes 1 through 4. I've read it. I want to pick up the rest. Really good series. Dora Hedora, volumes 1 through 6. I got this in a bundle deal. Again, Right Stuff Anime. Still have never read this. I know people really, really like it. I have not read this. I know. I need to get on it. Dream Fossil, bundle deal. Doubt, volumes 1 and 2. I have read it. If you like Saw, it's very Saw-like. It's a pretty interesting read. Downfall, have read it, and it's pretty good. A series I just recently finished, Erased. I finally read all of Erased. Really enjoyed Erased. Volume 5, I didn't know this. It's more called Erased Re, which is like side stories, or I'm not going to spoil some things, but it's more about the side characters and their stories. But yeah, I finally finished Erased. Man, pretty good. Really good, actually. Mission Yakuza Family, volumes 1 and 2. I have not read those. Mob Psycho, volumes 1 through 12. I have read volumes 1 through 8. I know. I need to read this. Momo the Blood Takers, volumes 1, 2, 3, and 5. I'll tell you a story. I thought I had 4. So I bought volume 5. Update, did not have volume 4. So I've only read volumes 1 through 3. That's on me. That's on my mistake. I accept that. My Dress Up Darlings, volumes 1 through 10. I have only read volumes 1 through 4. I know. When is season 2 of that anime coming out? That's what I want to know. Like, when's that coming out? Because I really want a new season of My Dress Up Darling. That first season was incredible. My Girlfriend's Child, volumes 1 and 2. I've read both of them. Not for children. That's pretty good. My Lovesick Life as a 90s Otaku, volumes 1 through 3. I read volumes 1 and 2. I will read volume 3 very soon. I just picked it up recently. Fantastic shoujo slice of life comedy series. If you grew up in the 90s, early thousands, I think you will dig this series if you were even if you just knew about anime, because I wouldn't consider myself like the biggest otaku back in those days. Or if you know people, like I have friends that were otakus in that time period, and some of the jokes really, really hit, if you have that frame of reference. Yona the Dawn, volumes 1 through 6. I've read volumes 1 and 2. I need to read more of it, but dude, Yona of the Dawn has like 40 volumes, so I got time. Your Lie in April, volumes 1 and 2. I just randomly saw these at a Barnes & Noble. I don't know if they're getting like a reprint or if they're not that hard to find, but I picked it up. I am about this far into volume 1. About this far. Yu Yu Hakusho, volumes 1 through 19. Of course I've read Yu Yu Hakusho. If you want to talk about a series that means a lot to me, it's a series. I remember how hard this series was to collect before they did the reprints. Man. Neon Genesis Evangelion's Omnibus. It's got volumes 1, 2, and 3. I have not checked this out yet. But I really want to. No Longer Human. I have read this. Not for children. It's not for children. But it's pretty good. No Longer Heroine, volumes 1 through 3. I've read volume 1 and 2. Noragami Omnibuses 1 through 8, which covers up to volume 24. I need to get back on the Noragami. I really enjoyed what I read of it, and I really need to get back on that. Offshore Lightning, I have read it. It's a collection of a short story from an author from a while ago, a long time ago. The stories weren't super incredible to me, but I think it's important to own something like this because I want to, through my money and through my wallet, I want to like tell them I am super interested about a collection of short stories from an author from such a long time ago. Okinawa, I've talked about this. It is a great collection of stories revolving around World War II and Okinawa. It's really, really incredible. I highly recommend it if you like history stuff and things of that nature. Oshinoko, volumes 1 through 5. I need to catch up with this series. I've only read volumes 1, 2, and 3. I need to read volumes 4 and 5, and I believe volume 6 is out. Platinum End, volumes 1 through 14. It's the same duo that did Death Note, so I picked it up. Have not checked it out yet. Parasite, volumes 1 through 8. Listen, I've talked about Parasite before. You know how I feel about Parasite. I read volume 1, okay? I know you guys have, if you've been in the comments, dude, you need to check out, you need to read more. I know, one day I will. And then this Prophecy. I finished this. I don't remember it, so probably wasn't that good. I know I finished this. I don't remember it. Imanon, volumes 1 through 4. I read volumes 1 through 3. We just got the 4th volume, and I am very excited to read that. The Fable, volume 1 and 2. I've read both of these. It is one of... I love this series. It is kind of comedy, action, hitman. Really, really good. Really, really kind of strange in a way, but very good. Fist of the North Star, volumes 1 through 11. It is the godfather of, hey, I'm gonna punch that guy. Do yourself a favor. Check this series out. Like, I cannot highly recommend it enough. And The Flowers of Evil, volumes 1 through 4, which I have read. And then for the final stop, hopefully you have been enjoying the video. And here's the funny part, I just thought about this. I haven't been keeping track, so you know what my percentage is at. I still don't know. I still have to edit this video and then do the math and do the percentage. So am I close to 60% right now? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. We're at the final shelf, and this shelf is very easy because this is series that I hold very, very dear to me. Haikyuu. I would have been finished with this series, but if you checked out this video, and it either happened after I recorded this video or like I talked about it in this video, volume 11 had a misprint. Again, I've watched the anime, so I'm pretty far along. But yeah, it had a misprint, and I finally found a volume 11. So I'm going to continue my journey to get caught up to Haikyuu. Black Clover, volumes 1 through 35. Of course, I read those. My love for the series is not a secret on this channel. One Punch Man, volumes 1 through 27. Another one, again, check out that video because I know I talked about it in that video. Volume 19, halfway through, had a volume 9 in it. So I have still not been able to find a volume 19. So I am stuck right here at where I need to read volume 19 to get current physically with One Punch Man. Vinland Saga, volumes 1 through 13. I've read them all. It's Vinland Saga. You guys know by Vinland Saga by now. Planets, volumes 1 and 2. Same author as Vinland Saga, and I have read them both. Obviously, you know, Vinland Saga is his magnum opus as of now. But Planets, you can kind of see the seeds that he goes on to, because before Vinland Saga, he goes on to craft Vinland Saga. And Goodnight Pun Pun, volumes 1 through 7. For the final time, not for children. It's not for children, but it's pretty good.
So I forgot to do an outro, and I've been editing all weekend. Literally, I'm editing the day you see this video. It's gonna be late. I apologize, because it's definitely gonna be late. Because usually upload around 11. It's almost 11. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. It means the world to me. And as always, I hope if you're having a bad day, it gets better. If you're having a good day, It becomes fantastic. I'll see you next time.